95% of creators are boring on camera because they're trying to be enthusiastic rather than focusing on two way more important elements first. It's like a tree trying to grow big and tall and flashy, but without any roots in the ground. Just before we get into this, feel free to drop me a comment on why you want to learn how to talk to camera. This will really help you get clear on your motivation and your drive. Also, be sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to be giving you an actionable trick that makes you more interesting every time. So you might have seen a ton of YouTube videos with creators who will set up the camera and just be like, "Hey guys, how are you doing? And in this video, we're going to talk like this." And it feels quite kind of repelling even. I don't want to come off as too harsh. Imagine you were in real life, right? And a guy comes up to you and he's like, "Hey Thomas, how are you doing?" You're just like, "Bro, chill out, like calm down." Talking to camera, who are we talking to? We're talking to a group of people, we're talking to an audience. This is not just you and a lens, this is you and viewers on the other side. So the thing that you need to focus on before you even think about being enthusiastic or trying to like pump up your energy is connecting to emotion. Now, when I say connecting to emotion, I don't mean that you need to be super emotional, like you need to be super happy or super sad or super nostalgic or whatever. It simply means that you figure out how you're feeling, you spend a moment to check in with yourself, and also be conscious of how you're feeling about what you're talking about. So let's say I'm talking about filmmaking and I'm talking about maybe my favorite brand just released a new camera. So I could very easily be like, "Today, Sony released a new camera and it was great and I loved it." But then I'm not connected to my emotion. I'm just trying to be more enthusiastic. But instead, if I think about what this actually means to me, number one, how am I feeling right now? Because that's important. So right now I'm kind of feeling quite calm. Okay, cool. Now, how do I feel about this new camera coming out? Well, I am actually genuinely really excited about it because I'm gonna buy it because I've had this other camera for 5 years and it has all these problems and it has bad autofocus, and I'm really excited about this camera. It's gonna unlock my creativity. So I might instead take a moment to feel that and then say, "All right guys, in this video, the brand new Sony camera has just been released and I'm super excited to share it with you today." So maybe you felt like that delivery was slightly more interesting because you could potentially feel like a palpable excitement, a palpable emotion behind what I was saying. So before we get into any enthusiasm, we need to be tapping into our emotion about how we feel about a certain thing. And emotion always equates to a slight bit of vulnerability. So we want to be getting a little bit vulnerable when we're talking on camera. Exactly the same in real life. If you show up and you talk to people and you're really yourself, it is more vulnerable, but it's 100% worth it. So you've got to really keep that in mind when you're talking to camera. All right, once you've got your emotion down, you're in your feelings, then the next thing is authenticity. So getting into how you feel is naturally going to make you more authentic, but there's slightly more to say here that's really important. Authenticity is when you feel stronger with what you are saying. And being inauthentic is when what and how you're saying makes you feel slightly weaker. So if I say something that's like, "Hey, I'm in Barcelona right now and it's sunny and I had a great day today." Let's say that. That's true. I've had a great day today and it is sunny and I'm in Barcelona. Okay. But if I say to you, "Hey guys, I'm in Barcelona right now and I've had a great day today and it's sunny," then that's not very authentic because essentially I am betraying how I actually feel to try and be somebody else or try and portray something else that's not really me right now. So instead of that, if I say to you, "Hey, I'm in Barcelona right now, I've had a great day and it's sunny," then that's basically how I feel, and it's also makes me feel slightly stronger. So if somebody was to kind of push against that, and if somebody said to me, "Do you actually feel good today?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I do." But if I was like, "I feel great today," and somebody said, "Do you actually feel good today?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I do, yeah, really great." And then I kind of start getting more wobbly, and if you imagine somebody questioning you, then slowly but surely your mask is gonna unravel, right? So instead you wanna say things that kind of ground you. And it's not just what you say, it's also how you say things. So this is a really important analogy to pay attention to. If you say something that's true in an inauthentic way, you're still being inauthentic, even though you're telling the truth. However, if you say something that's true and you say it from a place of truth, you're being true in how you're communicating, you're being authentic. Otherwise, you can say the truth and also actually be lying because you're saying things that are true, but in a way that actually betrays who you are. So once you've got your emotion down and your authenticity, then you can start focusing on your enthusiasm. So you're building yourself from a strong foundation of who you actually are and how you actually feel. And on top of that, you're boosting it for the camera like 20 to 30%. I think it is definitely true, having said this, that if you are just purely emotional and authentic, you can still be a touch boring because people are just so used to seeing presenters be slightly more enthusiastic than normal. So if you take this foundation, boost it by 20, 30%, then you'll really have a magic combo. So that 20% might look something like this. So let's say I'm talking about a cathedral and I'm in my emotion and I'm being authentic. So I'm saying, yeah, there's a cathedral behind me, and the cathedral is really interesting because it was in the 18th century that it was built by a famous engineer, blah, 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 right? So fairly authentic, cool. But if I boost that by 20%, it might be like this. So behind me right now is a cathedral, and it was built in the 18th century. And the reason it was really interesting is because a famous engineer designed it. So you can feel that I'm slightly more energetic, I might be talking slightly faster, slightly louder, but it's from a solid place. Okay, just before we get onto the actionable trick that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, feel free to download the Talk to Camera cheat sheet, which is 100% free. It's a PDF that is in the description of this video that you can print out and have next to you whenever you're talking to camera, because it just has a bunch of really good mindsets, tips, and tricks on it that are going to really help you in your delivery. So, what is the actionable trick? This is going to help you tap into your emotion and authenticity without even necessarily thinking about it. So before you talk to camera, take a moment to visualize everybody who is on the other side of the lens. Who are you talking to? Who is your audience? Who are the people who either need this advice right now or want to be entertained right now? Who are they? Where are they at in their days? So think about those people, and if you don't have an audience yet, maybe think about yourself 5 or 10 years ago. Or think about friends and family that you think might enjoy watching your videos. So just take a moment, even place a hand on your heart. I find this kind of helps tap into emotion a bit. Close your eyes and just take like 30 seconds, 1 minute, and think about all the people who are watching your video. Think about, if it's advice you're giving, maybe think about they might need this advice. They might be in a position right now where they're struggling. Thinking about you maybe on the other side of this lens. Maybe talking to camera is really hard. Maybe it's something that you've always dreamed of doing, but for whatever reason, you really struggle with it. And once I've done that, then talk to camera, turn the camera on, start talking to it, and naturally, you will be tapped into your emotion a bit more because you're feeling, you're being more empathetic, more connected with your viewers, and also your authenticity, without even necessarily thinking about all that advice. So I hope you've really enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. And until next time, keep filming, stay creative. Bye-bye.